In this lesson, we're going to look at specialized cells. Specifically, we're going to look at the sperm cell, egg cells, and ciliated epithelial cells, and how they're adapted to performing a function within the body. Firstly, we're going to look at sperm cells. Sperm cells are a streamlined cell. They have to swim, and at the point where millions of them are released, they race towards the egg. Being streamlined is an adaptation to help them in that function. They have a nucleus, like all eukaryotic cells. There is a difference with the sperm cell nucleus though. Because the sperm is a gamete, so a sex cell, it only contains half the genetic material, and we call this a haploid, so half haploid nucleus. At the tip of the sperm, there is a balloon filled with enzymes. This balloon, at the point in which the sperm hits the egg, bursts, spilling the enzymes, and enzymes are these chemical scissors that break away the jelly lining of the egg, so the sperm can get in and exchange its genetic material. Sperm has to swim, and swimming requires a lot of energy. It's a metabolically active cell. And to provide that energy, sperm has a lot of mitochondria. And remember, mitochondria are the organelles that produce energy. Finally, sperm have a tail, and the tail moves backwards and forwards, allowing the sperm to swim. The next cell we're going to look at is ciliated epithelial cells, also called cilia. Cilia are really well adapted cells, and what they do is have projections, so little strands coming off them that move backwards and forwards. In the diagram shown here, the strands, these little finger-like projections coming out, waft or just move the egg down. So these ciliated epithelial cells are lining the fallopian tube, also called the oviduct, which is that tube that connects the ovary to the uterus. And so the egg can move down quickly and efficiently. You have these ciliated epithelials wafting it, just pushing it down. Now, because it's a metabolically active cell, it needs energy to make these movements happen. It also contains a lot of mitochondria. And remember, mitochondria are these organelles that produce energy. The other place we see ciliated epithelial cells is in the lung. The same thing applies. They've got these finger-like projections that move backwards and forwards, and rather than moving an egg along, in the lung, they move mucus up and out. So it's a way for the lung to clean itself and keep moving mucus out of the lung so it doesn't get too congested. Finally, we're going to look at the egg cell. The egg cell is one of the largest cells in the human body, and it has several features that make it very well adapted for what it does. Firstly, the egg cell has a jelly coat surrounding it. This protects the cell as it moves down the fallopian tube. Now, at the point, sperm breaks through that jelly coat using its acrosomes. The rest of the cell, the rest of that egg cell, hardens, preventing any more sperm getting in. The next feature of an egg cell is an enlarged cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is where energy in the form of nutrients are stored. This larger cytoplasm allows cell division to take place and the embryo to develop into a fetus. As with the sperm cell, an egg cell is a gamete, a human sex cell, and it has a haploid nucleus. The haploid nucleus contains half the genetic material, so it contains 23 chromosomes rather than the 23 pairs or 46 chromosomes of most other cells in the body. Both egg and sperm are haploid cells. Let's review an exam question. Explain how cells that line the oviduct are adapted to their function of moving the egg cell. This is worth 2 marks. You need to state what the cells are that line the oviduct. So you start by saying the cell that lines the oviduct are the ciliated epithelial. You then need to link this to how they're adapted. So you'd say the ciliated epithelial are adapted to their function because they have these projections that move the egg down the oviduct. That will pick you up your 2nd mark because you've stated what it is and then you've explained how it is adapted. At this point, pause the video and attempt these 10 questions. The answers are in the comments.